to visit the House of Hathor, located at 6319 North Main Street. Open Tuesday through Saturday, it's your one-stop shop for African clothing, African masks, natural soaps, incense, candles, jewelry, and more. Plus, they've got a beautiful event space. Owned and operated by Baba Rutaski and Mama Neterma Canute. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the culture. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the movement. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the people.
Greetings, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the House of Hathor's Libation Liberation Lifestyle Ceremony, where we come to you with a message from the ancestors that continues to be the foundation of life that exists within us as well as without us. As we continue to honor, as we continue to venerate, as we continue to honor and to acknowledge our ancestors for bringing us all of the information and the instructions that brings forth our truth. And we recognize the truth that is within us as well as without us. And we use that truth, our abilities to respond to all that life and nature brings to us, that we find balance, harmony, and order, and the justification of our living in this lifetime. And that we continue to manifest, to generate, to reflect and project of all of the blessings that they have bestowed upon us. That we find ourselves in a position of being the true creators, the true manifestors, the true builders of life and nature, and to dwell within life and nature as the true brothers and sisters of all that exists around us. Let us bring the ancestors forward. Let them be a part of our lives. Let them be the spiritual advisors, the spiritual guides, the spiritual protectors, our spiritual court that holds us accountable for being true to ourselves, true to our families, and true to our communities as vessels, as altars, and as temples of their great energy, spirit, and soul. We call upon our ancestors far and near, fathers and mothers of our fathers, mothers and fathers of our mothers, to bear witness to all that we have done. And it is by your example that you continue to inspire us towards reclaiming our ancestral minds, regenerating our ancestral spirit, liberating our families, our homes, and our communities, and restoring our greatness as a people. We pour libation to bring into our midst your venerable ancestral spirit, radiating your great wisdom, your courage, your dedication, and your unyielding commitment to victory by any means necessary. It is in the honor of our Creator, the great ancestor of all ancestors, our mothers and fathers, our sisters and our brothers, our children and their children, our grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, our aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, and elders of our community, that we pour this libation in your honor, in the honor of our Creator, the great ancestor of all ancestors, and the various manifestations of the Creative Spirit. We pour libation. Ashe. For our esteemed ancestors, who laid the foundation for human civilization, and who provides the wisdom to which we live and the models by which our lives are guided, we pour libation. Ashe. And for our esteemed ancestors, who suffered the atrocities and the horrors of our Ma'afa, but yet demonstrated the victorious power of the ancestral spirit by maintaining their dignity no matter the cost, we pour libation. Ashe. And for our esteemed ancestors, who survived and made it possible for us to be here today, that we continue the fight of our ancestral liberation and our vindication, we pour libation. Ashe. And finally, for our children and their children and future generations of our ancestors to come, that they too in their time will vindicate our race from all adversaries, and that they will continue to imprint upon the world the great genius of our ancestral humanity, we pour libation. Ashe. May your venerable spirit engulf this occasion to reaffirm our ancestral canity. It is done. Our great ancestor of all ancestors is satisfied. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Dua Neter. So my brothers and sisters, peace and power, Hotep to you all this day, that the ancestors continues to live through us through the breath of life, that it continues to extend itself through our thoughts, our words, and our actions, that they continue to enhance, increase, and enrich us as we are the institution, we are the industry, and we are the environment that lives in balance with life and nature. And as we continue to recognize our true divinity within ourselves, that divinity does not go without recognizing and have a greater understanding of what is positive and what is negative within us. And that our ancestors, they hold us accountable to make sure that we recognize our true selves within ourselves, the inversion of ourselves. The inversion speaks of the positives as well as the negative energy that we have within us, because there is not one without the other. And that we find the balance within that positive and negative energy that is within our values, our interests, and our principles. You see, my brothers and sisters, we cannot have a greater standing of ourselves without recognizing the negative sides of what we are as well as our positive sides, because both are needed and required for us to build. We have to be able to recognize the negative sides of ourselves so that we won't fall short of living our true selves within ourselves, the inversions, the envision, the interpretations of everything that exists within us. Our ancestors want us to recognize every part of ourselves, that we can't think that we are holier than thou to think that we can live through life without recognizing that negative side of ourselves, because that is where the negative spirit will try to find the strength of itself on the negative and to dismiss the positive, because we are walking around thinking that we are greater than everything else that exists within us as well as without us. We think that we are so high and mighty that we don't live with this negative energy anymore in it, but we don't recognize, or we have not recognized within ourselves, that you need to be aware of your negative side of yourself as well, that you don't dismiss it. You have to stay aware of the negative energy that you have within yourself, and that you admit to yourself what are the negative energies that you have within you. You must admit to it. You don't have to submit to it, but you must admit to it. And then you must commit yourself to being aware of all that you have within you. This is where the ancestors are living within us. That we have negative ancestors and we have positive ancestors. We have negative energies and we have positive energies. They all are within you. And as you continue to live, love, and learn your experiences, that everything that is on the outside of your spirit, it is of the negative. Everything that is of the positive experience, it is within you. But they all dwell within you. The only way that you can recognize what is negative outside yourself is because you recognize what is negative within you. Everything that is positive within you, you build it on the outside of yourself. That is where the manifestation, that is where the generation, that is where the reflection as well as the projection of your energy dwells within you. But the grounding source that balances your positive and your negative, there's a grounding wire, just like a car battery. It balances positive and negative energy so that the car can move, so that the car can exist. And so do we as temples, altars, and vessels of our ancestors. Your grounding wire for yourself will be your values, your interests, and your principles. That is the true culture, the spiritual culture that dwells within us. Our values, interests, and our principles. Our values dictate how we commune with each other, how we interconnect with each other, how we are interdependent with each other, how we are interrelated with each other, how we interact with each other. Because the positive and negative energy will tell us who is with us and who is against us. The positive and negative energy will tell you who you can work with and who you shouldn't work with. The positive and negative energy will tell you what things will distract you and what will attract you towards it, and what things that are not for you. and what things that you use that are part of yourself, that you use your enhancements, your increase, and your enrichments. Those are the things that are from the positive energy. The distractions, the attractions are the things that are outside of yourself, and they continue to navigate towards you to see if they can pull you towards your negative energy. That's what the distractions and the attractions. That's what suppression, depression, and oppression. All of that is a part of the negative energy that tends to bring you towards it, because that is where it wants to make sure that you recognize your true self in your positive as well as your negative. Our ancestors, they're working with us, they're guiding us, but they also hold us accountable when we are distracted and when we are attracted. And then it brings suppression, depression, and oppression when we are on the negative sides of ourselves, because we are giving our energy towards it and not towards our enhancements, our increase, and our enrichments. That is where the ancestors are guiding us. That's where they are influencing us. That's where they're encouraging us and inspiring us. That's where they are enlightening us. But the life in nature brings us obstacles and hurdles just to see if it can sway us towards the negative. That is where the negative energy, that's where its strength is. That's where the power of the negative energy is. It is towards those obstacles and hurdles to test us, to see if we're going to stand firm on our values, on our interests, and our principles. Because that is where our foundation is. That is where the ancestors are, within the values, interests, and the principles. Life in nature is on both sides to see if we're going to stand firm with our ancestors, or are we going to stand firm on the negative sides of ourselves. You can't get away from it. It's going to follow you wherever you go. It's going to continue to challenge you. It's going to continue to bring forth obstacles and hurdles to see if we're going to stand on our true divinity, to see if we're going to stand on our truth, and being aware and being observant of when negative energy is trying to pull us towards itself and not allowing us to go towards our ancestors, towards our enhancements, increase, and enrichments. They are on both sides of us, my brothers and sisters. It is within us. It follows us wherever we go, and it challenges us each and every day that we have this breath of life. So we must be aware of it, because our spiritual court holds us accountable to doing what we have been placed here to do. It holds us accountable when we're not aware of the negative energy, when we're not aware of our negative energy that's within us. That is where the challenges come within us. Every day we have a challenge to be aware of our negatives, but move within our positive, to make sure that we recognize the distractions that are only our distractions. Everybody has their own attractions and distractions that are only for you. Someone else's distractions are not your distractions. Someone else's attractions are not your attractions. Someone else's enhancements, increase, and enrichments are not yours. You have yours that are divinely placed within you. That your anointment of your enhancements, increase, and enrichments, they're strictly yours, because you are a different vessel that have been placed here to do a specific job. From a spiritual standpoint, that anointment, that ordainship has been given to you so that you may interconnect, be interdependent, be interrelated, and you interact with other spiritual beings to do the work that we are required to do, to build, to manifest, to create a better way of life that is a true example of your divinity, of your spirit. And when we do those things, we become the example of what life in nature has already presented to us. Because life in nature, regardless to what challenges it has, it continues to live the experience. It continues to provide for us everything that we need in order for us to live within it. And it keeps going around. It is a circle of life that lives around us and it lives within us. But the challenges will always come. The obstacles and the hurdles will always come just to test you to see if you're going to live in your truth and that you are justified in living your truth. That is all life in nature does. Do you recognize the justification of living in your truth? Because when you recognize the justification in living your truth, then you are divinely protected from any and everything that may want to do you harm. Everything that is against you, you are divinely protected against it, and the ancestors will work with you, they will work for you, and they will work through you when you recognize your true divinity. But being aware of the distractions and the attractions that are only there for you in your divinity to test you, to see if you're going to stand firm on your values, interests, and principles, because that is the only way you can stay balanced in life. That is the only way we can all stay balanced in our true selves. So we want you to recognize and truly understand everything that is being given to you so that you can stay protected and that nothing else will sway you away from your truth. And when you live in that truth, you become liberated. And your lifestyle, it will be a true reflection as well as a projection of everything that you think, everything that you speak, and everything that you do. When you are divinely protected, and your spiritual court will always hold you accountable just to being aware of what is negative and what is positive, and recognizing where your values, interests, and principles are that will ground you and keep that positive and negative energy balanced within you. And it will always be there each and every moment of the day, and you will be tested each and every moment of your days that you have the breath of life within you. So let us move forward. Let us live, love, and learn our processes of our lives, so that we may be divinely and acutely interdetermined, interdependent, interconnected, interrelated, and we interact with the spirit, the energy, and the soul of our temples, our altars, our vessels, our institution, our industry, and our environment that is within us as well as without us. We leave you with this cleansing prayer so that we may be absolved and detached from all negative energies that we may have absorbed throughout our day, throughout our week, throughout our nights, throughout our lives. So we say peace and power, Hotep to you all, and Ashe to our ancestors.
O great ancestor of all ancestors, we call upon you this day that you will cleanse us of all negative energies that surrounds us, that you will break all work of negative magic that is against us, that you will take away from us all envy, evil, bad luck, and invincible enemies, and that you will bring protection, peace, and prosperity into our lives, into the lives of our children, our children's children, and our children's children's children, into the lives of our families, our homes, and our communities. We now lovingly and peacefully retrieve our energy from all that we have communicated with. We send them their energy back and any energy or energies attached to them. We now cleanse, clear, close, and lock all gates, portals, and access points in the spirit of our ancestors and in the spirit and in the energy of our Creator, the great ancestor of all ancestors. Ashe, 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 Ashe.